You're live now.
Starting soon. So that's the.
It's good. Corey, you're on.
Cool. Are we live finally?
Yep.
Is it actually coming through?
It's definitely coming through.
Cool. Well, hey guys, welcome to our first live stream. We've been kind of experimenting. We've always had the capability to do this, but YouTube's been pushing me to do it, and some of the girls have been kind of nagging me about it. So here we are. We're going to answer some of your viewer questions. Is the audio coming through? Can you guys hear the audio and the video on your ends? What are the commenters saying? It's hard for me to see the TV with the glare with all the damn lights. They're so bright.
Should be good.
All right.
We got some questions.
There are
Audio's
questions.
good. Yeah, everything's good.
What has he got?
Sounds great. Fuck yeah.
7 principles to get an ex back for religious women who can't come to your place. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys that are ultra religious, no sex until marriage kind of thing, you're going to do everything in the book, but with the exception of the seduction. So if she's not willing to come to your place, it's like, where are you going to meet her? What are you going to do? Does that mean your chaperone, Kareem Brown? Maybe he's Muslim. So again, I don't know what you guys did before you broke up, but did she come to your house before or not? Maybe you can put it in there. So Kane Miss says, does it make sense to throw yourself at women by approaching them? Well, you don't throw yourself at women. When you can just wave them over to you instead. Yeah, you can do that. You can take your finger and you say, hey, come here. You can wave her over. And sometimes the girl will go, and then she'll do this to you, and then you go, stick your tongue out her or whatever. Love is playful and fun. So it's real good to just do the finger whip. You. Come over. So everybody says the sounds good.
Yeah, it's looking good.
What are your thoughts on dating apps when you're in a city with not much going on? Well, I look at dating apps as just another avenue to get leads. But I mean, if you think about it, especially the younger guys, like Chunky's generation, it's like everybody's always on the phone all the time. I mean, you even see this like when I'm sitting down and watching lunch, because I like to always observe and people watch. There's so many people. You see groups of younger people walking and they're like all on their phones. They're they're taking pictures with each other, and they're focused on social media posts instead of actually just interacting with each other and having a good time. So at the end of the day, if you're going to go on dates, then you're going to have to talk to people face to face. You're going to end up on a date eventually. And so you got to get good at small talk. You got to get good at asking questions and taking a sincere, authentic interest in other people.
Or you won't even meet those people. Like, it takes forever to get someone out of a dating app. Like, they'll just keep casual conversation, but they won't actually want to meet you. So I wouldn't depend on a dating app to meet a girl just because you're in town, personally.
Yeah, you're going to come off as having more confidence if you're approaching women. And again, you got to get good at the small talk. I mean, what happens when you need to get a job? You have to walk into somebody's office in a nice suit with your resume, and you got to be able to carry yourself and carry a conversation. So that's just an essential human skill. And too many people, especially you younger guys and girls, rely on your phones too much. And you're going to have the human interactions. And so you might as well do things that force yourself to get out of your house. Because I see this a lot. I see it in my phone sessions. Guys just rely on their phones to meet people and to have conversations. And if you rely on because some of the video newsletters I did this week, a couple of guys were doing, like one guy in particular met a girl, and then they're talking and texting right away. He had 2 dates. She was really into him. He tries to plan the 3rd date. Poof. He gets totally ghosted. I did another guy who was dating this girl, I think it was about 9 months. This is one of the ones that came out in the last couple days. And she's a single mom, and around September of last year, they were having sex, And she said, "I love you" during sex, and then he asked her about it like the next day when she was sober, and she says, "Oh, I didn't really mean it. I was just drunk."
Oh, Corey, you got a super chat. You want to?
And so then, what happens is he then tells her that he's in love with her, and right after that, he's like, "That's the last time I went to her house. That's the last time I was around her daughter." All those kinds of things. So, and then he reveals later on in his email that he basically sees her every 3 weeks, and yet he's in constant contact with her, phone calls and texts all throughout the day. So he basically became her once a month, sometimes twice a month booty call, but he's her texting buddy, her gay male girlfriend, her emotional tampon, and basically her therapist. Yes.
Oh, there's a super chat. You might want to.
I know. I can see that.
And then,
but like when I'm talking, you gotta let me talk
Okay.
instead of interrupting me.
Cool.
Because it screws up my train of thought. I can't multitask like that. All right. So where's the super chat? Okay.
I just told him we'll answer.
I didn't say their name too.
He says, "This is Alex Garcia." He says that my girlfriend is asking for my phone password and account's passwords. I've never done this before with no one else. Well, what you can do when you're hanging out, it's make her work for it. So you can give her your phone and let her look at it. You let her look through whatever what she wants to look at. But demanding like all of your accounts, maybe you have an online business or something like that. I don't know how close you guys are, but what specific passwords and things is she asking for? But if you guys you've been together for a while, and she's like, "I want to look at your phone," because the other thing you got to keep in mind is people that are always accusing you of doing things you shouldn't be doing. Let me look at your phone, especially if it's a woman and it's, oh, you were looking at that girl, you were talking to that girl, you were giving that girl the eye, whatever it happens to be. People tend to project what's inside. No one will ever do or say anything to you that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. So that's something that should give you pause. If somebody is constantly accusing you of doing things you shouldn't be doing, even though you're not. And so I wouldn't just say, "Here's all my passwords to my Facebook and everything else," because you give her all that stuff and she could lock you out. She could remove your phone and then add her phone, and now you're locked out all your social media or your business accounts or whatever. So in this case, it's like she wants to see your phone, just hand it to her when it's open. Let her look through it, and then say, "Great, give me yours."
Why does she want to see his phone in the first place? Are there trust issues? Like, that's kind of concerning too.
Yeah, Alex, what is the reason why she wants to see your phone? Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more.
Does he have her passwords and her information?
Yeah, well, if it's mutual, it's like if she wants to see your phone, give her yours, but make sure she gives you her phone as well. She can't be a one-way J. How to know when a girl is lying about her body count and what to do about it. Probably all women are lying about it. They're using hyperbole and exaggeration.
Add 10 or 20.
As the saying goes, you got to kind of double and triple.
Yeah.
If she says, "Oh, I only slept with 10 guys," you got to triple, quadruple it. Maybe it's 30, 40 guys. If a guy says he slept with 40, 50 women, he's probably slept with 10 if he's lucky.
Oh my gosh.
So at the end of the day, because the guys in the red pill community make a big deal out of that. But what you're really looking for is you got to vet people. What is her character like? Does she keep her word? Is she trustworthy? Is she loyal? Was she loyal and faithful to her previous boyfriends? Are her parents loyal and faithful to each other? Because people that come from environments where there's a lot of lying and cheating going on, that's what they know. That's normal to them. And so you tend to attract how you act. So we got another super chat. Gabriel does things. Don't need nothing. Just want to say thanks for sitting down and writing your book all those years ago while sleeping on your dad's couch. Well, actually, when I wrote the first edition, I was living in my lake house in Orlando. It was a lake called Lake Fairview. It was a ski lake, and I was sitting there. I did a lot of watching, looking at the water as I was writing my outline. And when I recorded all of the audio files that my ghostwriter used, I was looking at the water. And then in 2012, 2013, I sat down and went through the book and did all of the editing myself on that, which took a really long time. Because I'm not a writer. I don't like to write, even though you have to write if you're going to write a book. And so I completely rewrote the book in 2013, and then when I went in the studio to record the audiobook in 2016, as I was reading in the studio, I just added a bunch of things that kind of came to my mind or top of consciousness. So thanks for the super chat.
I have a question here.
Why don't you ask me a question?
Okay. By Corey Lavares. Hi, Corey Wayne. My ex and I still see each other every weekend or every other. We share a child. She doesn't really reach out to me, but I have to see my boy. When I go down there, she's sweet.
So in a case like that, because guys are in those situations, they want to reattract their wife or their girlfriend or their baby mama or whatever it happens to be. And so the best way to handle those kinds of situations is to get all of your plans handled ahead of time. All of your when you're going to exchange your kids. In other words, create the conditions where there's absolutely no reason for you to have to contact her about your child. You just show up at the appointed time, and vice versa. Everything that she's going to need from you regarding the child, it's arranged and done ahead of time. And so therefore, if she has no reason to contact you and you have no reason to contact her because you got a schedule, then if there's interest on her part, she'll start coming up with reasons to reach out to you, and you'll kind of be able to tell that. Oftentimes girls try to disguise things like, oh, I'm reaching out about something about your kid, but from the context of it, you look at it and go, she doesn't really need to be reached. She's coming up with excuses to contact me. And so in that case, it's like the same things apply. If you're hanging out, when you're exchanging your child or your kids, if you got multiple kids, is she playing with her hair? Is she touching your arm? Is she joking around? Love is playful and fun. And so be playful, be fun. And if she starts reaching out to you, see where it goes. You can always invite her over to make dinner, or maybe sometimes she'll invite you over. That's how I would handle that situation. And so Alex, who did the original super chat, he says, I don't have none of her passwords. She's just jealous due to the fact that I have 2 kids, and she doesn't like that I have a good relationship with my kid's mom. Now that makes a little bit more sense. So if she's super jealous of your good relationship with your baby mama, then that's the kind of thing that should make the hair stand up in the back of your neck and make you wonder. You need to probably vet her a little more closely. What is her past like? Did she cheat on her previous boyfriends? Was she cheated on? Does she come from that kind of an environment? And if she says, oh, I want to see your phone, it's like, great, let me see yours, and exchange phones. And if you hand her your phone and then she's going through her phone and you can tell she's like deleting things, you're like, what are you doing? So that's how you can kind of discover if she's kind of guilty. Because if she's constantly accusing you of doing bad things, then that should give you pause, because again, she's probably projecting. She's probably the one that's a little disloyal. Yeah. And here's the thing, because I've dealt with a lot of people like this over the years, and I've had phone conversations with, I remember one guy, he was in Europe. He'd been with his girlfriend like 8 or 10 years, and he was constantly cheating on her, relentlessly. And he was very arrogant about it. He's like, Corey, he's like, everybody cheats. You would cheat. And I was like, no, I wouldn't. I've never cheated on anybody I've ever been with. But in his mindset, he believes that because that's how he's living. He's living his life and constantly cheating on his girlfriend with dozens and dozens of women over the 8 or 10 years that they were together. But for him, that's a normal thing. And his reality filter, the way he looks at the world, he believes everybody is that way.
Plus, personally, if I knew that the guy I was dating had 2 kids and he has a good relationship with the mom, I think that's such a green flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be in love. I would be googly eyes, oh my gosh, of course, as long as you guys aren't having a little secret relationship, but
absolutely.
I should have enough trust in you that you're not going to do anything for the kids, obviously.
She's just very insecure and probably thinks that he's having a secret relationship with the baby mama, and she's probably doing something she's not supposed to do.
Right.
So
He did an update.
Yep, Alex got an update for us. He says, but her dad is very controlling towards her mom and very jealous. We have been to family vacations, and the dad gets mad even if the mom speaks to me or anyone. So there you go. I talk about this a lot. You know, you have to judge women by what kind of relationship does she have with her father. And so you're observing the parents, and her dad's very controlling, very insecure, very jealous. Probably maybe because he's cheated on the mom, or maybe the mom has cheated on him. And so this is the environment she's raised in. So she's emotionally conditioned and anchored to be this way. That's not your fault. But what you can say to her is, honey, I love you, but the constant accusing me of doing things, it's like, and behaving like your father does, it's like, that shit doesn't fly with me. I have a good relationship with my ex-wife, you know, mother of my children, and it's always going to be that way because we love our kids. We co-parent together, and you're going to have to get over that. I don't want you interfering in our relationship or always accusing me of things because it's tiring. If you are always doubting me and my loyalty and my faith, well, that's a you problem. Maybe you should go see a therapist or a counselor and talk to that. Because if you continue to give me a hard time about it, then that tells me that maybe you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Just because I have a good relationship with my baby mom, it doesn't mean I'm a liar and a cheater. And when I see how your father behaves, he acts like a needy, insecure jackass sometimes. It's like, I don't want to live like that. And if we're going to stay together and be in a relationship, you got to treat me well.
I see a question here. It says, what would you do if your girlfriend called you stupid during an argument?
Slap her. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Dumbass.
It's like, well, you're the one that married me. You're the one that dated me. That's your best thinking at times. So stupid is as stupid does. If you think I'm stupid, well, that kind of bounces back on you. Well, you're obviously stupid for dating me then. You shouldn't take something like that seriously unless she means it in a mean way and a nasty way, because some people are just like that. They're just nasty and hostile, and I say it all the time. You want to be with a girl who's easygoing, who's easy to get along with, who's nice, who talks sweet to you. And women that are nasty and bitchy, and you know, there's just some women that are going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and they're going to let you and everybody else they encounter throughout that day or that morning, let them know and you know that they're in a shitty mood and they're going to take it out on you. And you know, again, you could see that in their family. If that's how the family talks to each other, well, you know, that's how they're going to typically treat you. And just like, you know, Alex, who's got the issue with, you know, watching the father, that's where she learned it from. And that might not be fixable, so you're going to have to set some healthy boundaries, and she's going to have to knock that shit off. And if she doesn't, your relationship might not work out, because she's just creating unnecessary drama. It's like, I wouldn't want to deal with that bullshit. I don't deal with that shit. Again, you got to have people that are nice to you. Your friends should be nice to you. Your family should be nice to you. Your kids should be nice to you. Your girl should be nice to you. The people that work for you should be nice to you. Because, as I like to say, your life should be an asshole-free zone. Maybe you should get one of these mugs, CoreyWayneShop.com, as a reminder for you guys that are hard-headed and like to date those crazy girls. All right, we got Bobby. Bobby says, is it okay to break no contact to set boundaries for manipulative behavior? P.S. She still stalks my socials. I wouldn't do anything. Pretend like you don't know. Because if you're on Instagram and you're watching her stories, she's going to know that you're watching and creeping on her stories. So you can always mute notifications so you don't see it. So if you're in no contact means no contact. Usually what's happened is no contact meant you walked away from the negotiating table because she wasn't interested in dating and seeing you romantically anymore. Maybe she stuck you in friend zone or whatever. And so you walk away and you never look back. The only way you're going to own a woman's heart is if she knows that if she pushes you too far, you'll walk and never look back. So if you're no contact, she has to break it. And if she doesn't break no contact, then that means you're never ever going to speak to her again for as long as you live. That's what no contact means. In other words, she's dead to you. Because if she unilaterally ended the relationship, she's got to fix it. And if she was adamant that you couldn't get back together or you could only be friends, then you've you've told her that you're just not gonna be hanging out with her unless she's interested in romance, and to not contact you unless she changes her mind.
The super chat is about to end.
What does
right
that mean?
there, down.
What does that mean? Oh,
Yes.
It like pops up for a little bit.
Oh,
and then
okay.
it goes away.
So I divorced my wife of 8 years. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
The klutz.
The
After I
klutzy.
found out she cheated, but now I regret it. She's been checked out for a while. Can I get her back? Why? She's not going to change. If you take her back, you're just giving her permission to do it again. So I wouldn't give her another chance. Once a cheater, always a cheater. 8 years, on to the next, dude. You can't fix that. It's not your job to turn her into an honorable person. You have to vet her for her character. She cheated. She's out. Was there another super chat that we missed here?
Not that I saw.
I did
Mr.
not believe so.
Fantastic says, just want to show my appreciation. Thank you.
Should I break no contact with my narcissistic ex-girlfriend? I know she's toxic, but I really do miss her. Why? Why
Which
do you
one?
miss
Read
her?
that again.
Who's it from?
It's from Sign-Ma-Buff97. It says, should I break no contact with my narcissistic ex-girlfriend? I know she's toxic, but I really do miss her.
Man, it's leave them crazy girls alone. It's like some chicks just. Oh, I got a mug for that. Oh, there she is. She belongs to the streets. You're not gonna fix that. I know some of you guys like that. I had a dude that used to work for me. He was dating this girl, and they used to have all kinds of crazy sex. And she got pissed off at him one time, and he was like laying in his bed, kind of half asleep after a night of just kind of going at it. And she whipped a beer bottle at his head, missed him by a few inches, and it exploded on the wall behind him, and so glass goes everywhere. And then eventually he broke it off and kicked her out. And then keep in mind, he had a solid core front door. This is solid fucking wood. I mean, it's wood panel. It's like glued together and stuff. It was one of those nice decorative doors. And this little fucking girl was barely 100 pounds. She was a little bit bigger than Jade. Kicked in his fucking door. I went over his house and I was like, bro, what happened to your door? He was like, man. He's like, I'm not going to say her name, but he's like, she kicked my door. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I had to get a restraining order against her. It's like, you're fucking nuts, dude. And then so 2 weeks later, I was like, hey, bro, what's up? And I see him at the office. I was like, what's new? Well, so-and-so came over last night, and you fucked her again, didn't you? And he's like, that sex is so good, man. It's like, all the crazy things he liked doing, I was like, you're out of your mind. And so that girl, he was like off and on with him for a few years, even with some of his future girlfriends, but they were like, you know, while we're together, you're not talking to that girl. So let it go. You're not going to fix her. Somebody wants one-on-one coaching, virtual coaching with Caroline.
That is to be announced. To be
To be announced.
Yes.
It's very expensive.
Very
It's going to be very expensive to do one-on-one coaching with the girls.
Got a new
You
super
have
chat.
another one from Corey.
Joshua Smooha, thank you. I know Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. Corey Lavars, I go down to see the baby. She invites me to stay the night, makes me dinner. We hang out and have fun and hook up. It gets hot and heavy, LOL. But when I leave, she's distant, not sure how to go about it. Well, women are like cats. Don't take it personally. That's the way they are, man. If you spend a lot of time with a woman, especially when you first start dating, and you know, say you've been dating for maybe a month, and you've been hooking up once or twice a week, and then all of a sudden you spend like Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and she leaves Monday morning, and then you don't hear from her for 2 or 3 days, and it's almost like when she left Monday, it looked like she was bored. That is normal. That's to be expected. If she's around her period, it's like women are their emotions can kind of be like the weather. So don't get upset. Don't get butthurt. It's not really going to do anything other than make you look like you can't handle her moodiness. And it can make you look insecure and needy if you start chasing and running after her. So just let her be. Again, as the book says, you guys should be studying the book. The fallback position is always once a week. Pankaj, I think is how you say that. Been starting to implement your tips. Body language confidence has come up. When is the time to walk away? And does that mean goodbye forever? Well, you walk away and you never look back. If she's mistreated you, you set healthy boundaries, and then she won't stop, then you have to enforce the healthy boundaries and walk away. If you're trying to date a girl and she stuck you in friend zone, and yet she keeps calling you but doesn't want anything romantic, you gotta say, hey, look, I told you I'm not interested in being your texting buddy or your friend. I'm interested in sex and romance, so you need to respect my wishes. And it's like, I only want to hear from you if you're interested in romance. Otherwise, it's been great. I wish you the best. So Joshua Smuha says, I'm dating 2 women, one for 4 months, that I'm backing off on after over pursuing. The second, only 3 dates with, I found out they are becoming friends. Should I tell them to get ahead of it? I wouldn't do anything. Gentlemen don't kiss and tell. And so if one of them confronts you about it, oh, I'm friends with so-and-so, it's like, why don't we invite her over? Girls like each other. That's a good recipe for a threesome. If they don't like each other, that's not going to work. But if the girls like each other, like, oh, you're sleeping with her, you're sleeping with her, it's like, I love you both. There's enough of me to go around. I'm a modern man. I can handle multiple ladies. I can keep you both satisfied. As a matter of fact, let's get together Friday night, and I'll show you. I will make it worth your while. Well, Bastian. Hey, Coach, ever considered translating your work into other languages? Yes, I have. It's one of the projects that we were working on in the background, but with a previous assistant that Kentucky guaranteed me but never got it done. So it's on the list.
Yes, I've been hounding him to do this for quite some time now. So I did ask you guys what language, if we were to start this project
Spanish
again.
will be the first one. That's the one we were working on.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to mention the name. This person that no longer works for me didn't actually fucking do it.
I'm just asking the people in the chat what languages.
We got some new ones, friends.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come in.
That's a lot of them.
Comes in quick.
Like,
Yeah,
Comes in
okay.
they're coming in fast.
holy shit, coming in hot.
Yeah. You have one from Mark, who you did a previous article on. He wanted to say thank you for all the great work that you do. And you answered a question in a video, married at 23, divorced at 29. And he learned from it. He just says thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, wow.
We got Bobby. Did he ask one earlier?
I
believe
think
so.
so.
He says, Coach, I don't want her back. She has BPD, borderline personality disorder. Just found it weird that she kept me on her close friends on Instagram. It's been 5 months. She may come back. You're one of those guys that likes the sex with the crazy girls. It's like, I advise against that, but I know how some of you dudes are. I have friends that are like that. It's
Corey's previous question was, is it okay to break no contact to set boundaries for manipulative behavior? She still stalks my socials. That was his first one.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything. It just, again, it gives you intel about what she's doing and what she's up to.
And she obviously doesn't respect you if you said she ghosted you
Yeah.
after you were trying to set boundaries.
Yeah, the strongest
Well, if
negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. And so you're not going to break no contact. You set the healthy boundary. She violated it. You enforced it. She ghosted you. She got to fix that. But, if she's got BPD, whatever, she can go on down the road. You can, even if she reaches out, you don't have to reply.
I would just block her.
You could do that too. But it does feel good. Especially you got nothing else going on and the crazy girl is still creeping your socials. It's a little bit of an ego boost. It can be beneficial. Because then you kind of know you got the leverage and the power. So Anthony, he says, "Hey coach, my girlfriend is entering the 25 to 30 year age range. Now she really wants kids. I don't right now, and I have told her this. Any tips on how to proceed?" Well, here's the reality. If you know you don't want to have children either with her or period or not now, you got to say, "Honey, I love you, but I'm not ready to have kids in maybe 5 years and maybe 10 years and maybe never." And you may have to realize that you're creating the conditions where she's going to leave you for somebody else. So don't waste a girl's fucking time. Don't waste her fucking life. Don't waste her years, prime childbearing years.
Absolutely.
You either want to have children with her or you don't. You either see her as the mother of your children or you don't. And if you know now you don't want her to be your baby mama and you've looked at her family and you don't like what you see there, it's the honorable thing to do if you're a man with integrity is to say, "I love you, I know you want kids, but I'm just not feeling it, I'm not there, and you probably should date other people." Don't waste her life, because if you take up the next 10 years of her life and then you leave her, she's going to fucking hate your ass, and you
Right.
deserve to get kicked in the nuts for
Yeah,
doing that. So
Preach.
gotta let a woman go if you know you don't want to have kids with her.
Isn't that something you should have like a conversation about way early on?
Not super early.
Well, they're
but
clearly having the
early.
conversation though, but he still's like, "I'm not ready."
Yeah.
But you gotta understand, women get around that age, it's like, they want babies. Every time they see a baby, like, "Oh my god, I got a little baby."
That's the ultimate goal, is
There
to
you
get
go.
married, to have children,
To
to build
procreate.
a
You
family.
just do everything backwards.
Like,
Ah!
So if you don't see her as your baby mama and you don't want her to be the mother of your children, you should dip.
go waste somebody else's time.
There you go.
That's right.
Or go find a woman you actually want to have kids with, and you'll know. Lee, he says, "What do you recommend as an opening message on dating apps today?" Well, personally, when I was in the dating apps, I would create a profile similar to the Ultimate Online Dating profile, where you put minimal information, you tell what you're looking for, and you let the women contact you. You're going to be sending a lot of DMs to girls that are going to get ignored, but if you are going to send questions, your opener should be something about asking them something about their dating profile or something that was in it. You want to ask the kind of questions that somebody would enjoy answering. If it's her hobbies or her interests, or she's telling you what she loves, "I love to cook." It's like, "What's your favorite dish to cook?" "I see you love to cook. My mom was a great cook," or whatever. It's like, "I'm looking for a girl that's a great cook. What's your favorite dish? What's the kind of dish that you would make?" Because as the old saying goes, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Whoever's asking the questions is the one that's in charge of the conversation. You always need to remember that. He says, "It seems only like 5 to 10% of my matches actually respond." That's actually a good response rate. Also, what do you think about Jesus? I know you respect the Bible. Well, what did he say? "I am the truth, the light, and the way." You should probably follow him.
You have a great one from T.I. Keep. Nope, the red one.
But we got one more here.
Oh, okay.
Robert V.D. Helm. "Thanks, Coach. Learned so much from you." Thank you. So, he says, this is T.I. Keep. "I'm trying to improve my social skills by going out and applying how to improve your social skills. Despite that, I always bitch out when I make eye contact with attractive girls who smile back. I'm 5'2", and it's a big mental block." Well, I was just reading a study last night. People that are under 5'8" tend to live 4.5 years longer than anybody that's above 5'8". So there's that. So the shorter guys tend to live longer. And so this is improving your social skills. You need to talk to everybody. You got to practice with everybody. Old ladies, ugly people, men, when you're putting gas in your car that pull up in this really cool pickup truck that's all tricked out. Ask them questions, because talking to a hot girl is the same process. You got to get good at small talk. If you only wait to talk to beautiful women, and as you said, you bitch out, it's like you're not going to get any better. So what's happening is you're going to approach a woman, and since you haven't practiced small talk with people that you don't really want to talk to, that you're not expecting to have a conversation with, then you need to talk to people anywhere and everywhere. The old ladies in the line at the grocery store, you look at what's on the conveyor belt. "Hey, what are you going to make with that?" And just ask questions and get good at that. Because you do that enough, you do that with 50 old ladies over the course of several months, or regular random people that are unattractive, asking them what they're making or what they're going to cook with that or what's their recipe. Is that a family recipe or whatever? There's going to be a day where you're going to turn around and there's going to be a smoke show in yoga pants looking at you and smiling. And then it's just going to be automatic. It'll become unconscious competence. You look at it and go, what do you make with that? And that's the perfect opener. If you've rehearsed it enough, which you do often, you do best, then when you see a hot girl, you won't even have to think about it. So you need to practice your small talk with everybody. That means in elevators, walking down the street, go in the mall, go ask people. If you're at an art show, ask the artists about their art. Get in the habit of asking questions and getting people to talk about things that they really like. That's the way to improve it.
This one goes along with like the old lady thing that you said. It says, Corey, how often do you receive emails, calls from a young man dating an older woman? He's asking because he is 32 years old and he's dating a 53-year-old woman.
Well, you're probably not going to have kids with her. So if you don't care about having kids, it's like, if you like her, she likes you, well, it's your dick and you can do whatever you want with it. So who fucking cares what other people think? It's none of their fucking business. You can't live your life according to the expectations of other people because somebody is always going to be upset with how you're living. So they can go fuck themselves. The Klutzy says, my ex will come over to shared apartment often, so I can't go no contact. Should I talk about things that went wrong? We haven't talked since the divorce. She comes to the shared apartment. Does that mean you live together?
I think that's what it means.
So have no reason to reach out to her at all. If she comes over, it's like, hey, you, what's new? Ask questions. What are you looking for? The same things that are in the book. Is she playing with her hair? Is she touching your arm? Is she standing too close to where she's bumping into you? Is she laughing at your jokes? Is she asking you about what's going on in your life? If she's a total cold bitch, well, maybe you should have some cute girls over and be hanging out and introduce them. Nothing will change a woman's attitude quicker than another cute girl. Alex Garcia says, I think it's time for me to walk away. She wants kids and I don't anymore. I'm 29 and she's 26. Well, if you know you don't want kids with her, then that's the right thing to do.
Keyword anymore. So did he want it at one point?
I think that's what
He's
he
probably
meant.
sick of her shit at this point. A girl like that's just going to wear you out. You get tired of it. Again, easygoing, easy to get along with. And that's not easygoing, easy to get along with.
And they're in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah, it's early.
She's 26 and he's 29.
That's like a perfect age, I think.
They're young. She has enough time to...
You can always go the Bill Belichick route when you're 72. You can be dating a 24-year-old who comes on to you and it hits on you when you're on an airplane. If you're the GOAT, it doesn't matter. Life is your oyster. So Bobby says, lastly, Coach, I would like to say that I used those 5 months to work on myself. Now I'm successful in my career and my own boss. I did everything I said I would when I was with her. Good for you, dude. A man should honor his word. Windy City Vol says, had a super fun, intimate one-night stand with a girl I went to high school with and stayed at her place. I haven't heard back, but she still trolls my socials. Well, if the sex sucked, you might not hear from her. If it was just average and you want another run, maybe you want to redeem yourself, call her up. Hang out, have fun, hook up. That's, that happens to a lot of guys. They'll have sex with a girl after 2 or 3 really good dates, and then she dips after that. Usually he was not focused on her pleasure, and so therefore she didn't have enough pleasure. So she didn't care to come back for seconds or thirds or fourths. Because if it's good dick, she's always going to come back. Fuel Ethanol says, should I get back with my ex since we have 2 boys together? She was awful to me during the breakup, but I want the best for my kids. The best thing for your kids is to be with somebody hotter and who has a better attitude so you can demonstrate to your children an example of a great, healthy relationship. Because if you go back to her she'll treat you the same way. People typically don't change. They may become a better version of who they are, but they don't change.
I got a question here. She is too submitted to God that she does not want to have sex before marriage, but she had sex with previous partners and now has changed. What do I do?
Oftentimes, guys that get into those kinds of situations, the religion becomes the excuse for friend zoning you. Maybe he's taking her out and spending money on her, expensive dates, that kind of thing. And if she's no sex until marriage, but she's always given it up in the past, and you don't want to wait till marriage, then be honest with her. Say, I think you're great, but I'm not interested in being celibate until we get married. So I'm going to date other people. Or we can take our relationship to the next level.
And you were saying in like one of the videos we filmed previously about like if you guys don't have the same belief systems.
Yeah, your religious values don't align, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, women that do that, they'll say, oh, I'm very religious now, I'm no sex until marriage. And meanwhile they've had 20 other dudes they slept with. It's like, no. Usually they use the religion as the excuse, which sounds logical, but it's just not. Chunky?
Oh, shoot. My
Pay
bad.
attention,
Sorry.
dude.
I was messing with the live stream thing. My bad.
DJR says, thank you, Coach, for what you do. Been listening to you for 7 years. I read 3% Man 30 times. Your work has transformed me into a assertive, masculine, purposeful man. May good keep blessing you. Maybe you're supposed to say, may God. Good, too. Hit Mixto says, Coach Corey, have you been in some awkward situations when approaching ladies? I started the approach and she didn't even look at me and went forward. I said hello and got no response. Of course, in them all. Yeah, again, what I say in how to improve your social skills, the process of improving your social skills, those videos I did. If you want to have a good experience, especially if you're new, and you should at least approach just the women that smile and make eye contact. That's going to be a little bit more advanced, because if a woman ignores you and won't look at you, usually that means it's like, stay the fuck away. They might have, like, Caroline, we were talking the other day about the resting bitch face. If she's got resting bitch face, I wouldn't approach her unless you're advanced. Because if you can't handle the rejection, it's like you just don't need a nasty no when you're trying to build your confidence. Pedro Becerra says, would you consider not dating for a couple seasons of life in order to get it in order? Well, I didn't date anybody for about 6 months after I left my wife, and I was happy. I was focused on my business. I was happy that I got out of the relationship that all along I should have never got married, but I was young and dumb and didn't know any better. So absolutely. Just because a girl likes you and wants to date you and sleep with you doesn't mean you have to reciprocate. You're not obligated to anybody. Besides, you got to get to a point where you really enjoy your own time in your own company being alone, because if you don't enjoy your time alone, you're not going to enjoy your time with somebody else.
And you'll be miserable to other people too.
Yep. Yeah, if you're not good company, and if you're not proud of yourself and proud of your life and excited about it, how are you going to get a girl excited? He says, I'm living my life in the negative, trying to get a business in order. Girl left because I'm too focused on me. Yeah, and you're just not happy, so focus on your business for a while. There's nothing wrong with that.
Some people try to balance too many things at once.
And then things get neglected.
Yeah.
John Klassen says, Coach, my lady loves our dates, but she never reaches out to me. I call her every 2 weeks. She would agree to a relationship for sure, but doesn't bring it up, though. I want her to be all in. Should I back off completely? My lady loves our dates, but she never reaches out to me. I call her every 2 weeks. So if you've been dating a girl and she never ever reaches out to you, that's the definition of a structured woman. There are female dating coaches that have learned my book and that are literally word for word. I saw one the other day on Instagram telling women to act exactly like men do. And so that's not easy to get along with. If I were you, John Clausen, I would just start dating other women, and she can be somebody that you call every few weeks. But you're not in a relationship. She doesn't make any effort. So again, you want somebody that reciprocates effort, and she's just not. And it's better to not even ask. Because again, this is part of vetting. If she doesn't naturally do it, won't do it. She's structured. She's following a set of rules, and probably is listening to some idiot on the internet that's teaching women to act like men. So, on to the next. That's what an abundance mentality is. Garrett Burkhart says, "What do you think about meeting women at raves, Corey? I'm going to Ultra by myself in 2 weeks. I have a question for the girls. Does size matter?"
It's the way you use it.
Caroline?
My religious beliefs won't let me answer that.
Oh my God.
Shabbat shalom.
Erica, does size matter?
Shabbat shalom.
So, her religious values. The other thing, the simple answer to that question is all of the nerve endings are on the outside of the, or the most of the nerve endings. The most sensitive ones are on the outside of the body. So just remember that. It's the friction and the motion that's really going to turn her on. So if you can tingle the little hooded bandit, the little Charon properly, repeatedly, at a nice medium pace, you can even ask her, tell me what you like. That's all she's going to need.
This person, Madhav Sharma, asks how to know if it's love or just infatuation / obsession for a guy.
Obsession for a guy? So it's a girl asking that?
I guess so.
So the honeymoon period typically lasts 6 to 12 months, and that's when you look at the other person as like, man, this is the hottest girl I've ever been with in my life, and every day you wake up, first thing in your mind is her. You go to sleep at night, you can't get her off your mind. You're thinking about her throughout the day. You can't wait to see her. But when you spend enough time, enough months and weeks and dates, and enough time having sex and kind of part-time living together because you're just always together, like I said, 6 to 12 months is usually when that will wear off. And then you'll be like, eh. And then you get to that point, you'll be having sex a lot of times just because you know you need to please her and she's a little frisky. Because again, when you get to the level that's in my book, you're going to get to the point where she wants sex more than you. And that's the best place to be for a guy. And then it's, you feel it's your duty, because healthy relationships, long-term relationships, at least 2 to 3 times a week you should be having sex. When it's less than twice a week or less than once a week, that's not good. Got to keep the sex and the intimacy going. Even when you don't feel like it. There's going to be times where she's just going to irritate the fuck out of you and she's going to get on your nerves. And you got to have that close. And then she might come over, and even though you're annoyed with her, and start rubbing up against you and being sweet, you're going to have to lay the pipe even when you're tired or your back hurts or, your thighs are worn out because you did too many squats or whatever. It's like you got to lay the pipe properly, because if you keep her properly fucked, she'll be very happy. And there's a lot of underfucked women in the world.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah. Not Jade. Alex Garcia says, she wants kids. I already have 2, and she attacks me for my past, even though she was engaged and used to live with someone who was very controlling. That doesn't sound very easygoing, easy to get along with. You need to tell her, treat you with respect, be nice and sweet to you if she wants to keep you as her man. You want a woman that makes your dick hard, not your fucking life. Jean Pinudi, best friend of 9 years, hitting on old girlfriend, bro code. What? Best friend of 9 years, hitting on old girlfriend?
His best friend.
Oh, your best friend of 9 years. Yeah, that's a violation of bro code. If he's a good, honorable man, he should say, hey, Jean, your ex-girlfriend and I, we've been kind of hanging out, and I think she's kind of sweet on me, and I like her, and I'd like to ask her out on a date, but I want your blessing first. If he's a true bro, he'll do that. And if he's not, well, you probably got a snake in the grass in your inner circle. So you might need to eject or just kind of manage the distance and keep him a little further away.
Should he stand up to him if he doesn't?
And yeah, the other thing I would say, hey, you're hitting on my old girlfriend. It's like, you're kind of violating bro code, dude. You should have at least come to me. It's like and ask permission. That's the right thing to do.
And then what if he's like, okay, can I have permission? And he doesn't like it.
Well, that's another situation entirely, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
And then you have keep the friend and get over it, or you don't.
There you go. Sturba says, Coach, see my previous non-super chat comments. Otherwise, keep doing your thing. Well,
I have it up here.
what is this question?
He said he dated a girl from his language class. He contacted her after not seeing her for 2 weeks, and she texted him back saying that she's with her ex. I told her to contact me when she wants. He asked, did I make the right move?
Never say contact me when you want. Just say, hey, that's great. You know, I hope it works out. But if it doesn't, you know, hit me up. I'd love to see you again. That's what you should have said.
Yeah, the other one was giving like beta mail.
Yeah. Contact me anytime you want, Your
If you
Highness.
want.
I'll be your friend.
I'll be right
I'll do your
here.
dishes for you.
You're giving her
waiting.
I'll
option.
inflate your tires in your car properly. I don't want you driving down the road and ruin your tires. You could have a blowout.
I wouldn't give her the option.
Yeah.
What option? Say what I said.
Yeah.
Don't say it the way he phrased it.
Yeah, no.
That way the way that you phrased it is giving her the option to back out.
Right.
The Klutzy says, how can I show my ex that I'm seeing cute girls? Well, number one, you shouldn't have the mindset of trying to get the attention of your ex. You should just be going out and having a good time. And obviously you can post pictures on social media, even if it's your hot cousin or whatever, and she doesn't know that. What you need to show is that you're just having a good time. Life moves on, man. Never try to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you.
Okay, I have a question. Nathan Quash says, in 3% Man, you said, I maintained my composure and just sat there throwing little funny remarks at her. Can you explain what you meant by throwing little funny remarks at her in more detail, please?
Yeah, so 90% of the time you're the charming James Bond. The other 10% of the time you're like the bratty, you know, bad boy that flushes the M80 down the toilet and, you know, blows up the pipe underground and causes leaks and stuff like that. So the idea is, it means teasing. It means being playful. It means treating her like a bratty little sister. We were filming yesterday. We were doing some reaction videos, and there was this really cool video. It was a TikTok video. It was like this. It looked like a teenage girl, and she's, you know, at home, and she's got her, you know, obviously younger brother, and, you know, looks like she's getting ready to make a TikTok video, and she's, you know, doing this with her hair and kind of getting all serious. Oh, look at me, I'm an influencer. And then he comes in, he's like, "Brr!" You know, "Brr!" And he starts banging his head on the table in front of the phone and smacking his head, and it's making a loud noise. It was really funny. And, you know, he's interrupting her I don't think it was a live stream, but she's laughing her ass off, and that's what that means. Say the kinds of things, ripping on her, teasing on her, treating her like the bratty little sister. That's what that means. And one of our members only says, 15 months ago I had a mini stroke, poor physical and mental health, split with my 10 out of 10 as a result. I lost 110 pounds. I'm back on center. Reached out to the ex, met up a few times, but she's scared to get hurt. Well, at the end of the day, hang out, have fun, hook up. Your job is to create an opportunity for sex to happen. If she doesn't want to hang out with you, then let her go.
And I just want to say one thing. I hope you're feeling better and that your health is...
Good job on losing 100 pounds, dude.
That's insane.
Yeah. I hope it was a healthy way to lose it. And I hope your heart's doing well.
I would say rock out with your cock out and go find some other girls. Get some options. 1 is no choice. 2 is a dilemma. 3 is a proper choice. You had a stroke, bro.
That's not a easy thing to deal with.
John Doe says, thumbs up. Thanks for the super chat.
John asked, you said people only become better versions, but they don't change. If I've been a whiner and a weak male in the past, is that all I will ever be, even if I fixed a couple things?
Well, when I say people don't change who they are, it's like kind of their operating system. In other words, somebody that has no integrity, is dishonest, disloyal, a liar, and a cheater, they grew up in an environment where that's what they saw, and that was the example that was presented to them, they're typically not going to change. Somebody that never keeps their word and lies, they're probably not going to change. And if you've always been a whiny little bitch, you know, I'll tell you a little anecdote. I remember this was when I was like probably 22, and a really good friend of mine, we were hanging out, and I, you know, because my mother used to complain a lot, and that was how she kind of got attention. That was, in other words, that was her way to fulfill her need for love and connection, was to complain about something or someone, so then we would have a conversation about it and pay attention to her. And I, even though I had gone through, it was right around the time I think I started going through Tony Robbins, so I was probably 21, 22, maybe 23, and we were hanging out. We were actually at Chuck's Steakhouse, and I was with a couple good friends of mine. And, you know, back then I had a problem with dry eyes because I didn't have a great diet like I had now. And I was probably bitching about my contacts or something. And my friend looked at me, he goes, "Corey, all you do is fucking bitch. You bitch all the time." And he said it with a smile on his face. He wasn't being a mean dick about it, but he was just kind of pointing out. I was like, "Hey, you're kind of being annoying." And I heard that, and I was like, I didn't like that. I didn't like to be perceived by one of my closest friends and roommates that I complain all the time. And so I made a conscious effort from that moment on to, like, I'm never going to complain again to anybody about anything, because it's negative. And so you can choose to be negative and focus on the negative, because whatever you focus on will expand. So if you've always tend to be whiny and complain about things, recognize that nobody likes that, especially women, and to focus on things. In other words, become an appreciator of life. Have an attitude of gratitude. Focus on things like, what can I be grateful for? So if you're used to being whiny and complaining about things, reframe that and focus on things that you have to be grateful for, or that you like about other people, or when you're hanging out with your friends. Like, if I was, my friend had once that said this to me, maybe 6 months later we're hanging out, and I said to him, I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, "Bob, you know what I appreciate about you is that you've always been honest, brutally honest with me as a friend, and that's what I appreciate about you. Is that if you think I'm being a whiny little bitch, or I'm not doing something I should be doing, you'll call me out on it." And that's what a real true friend does. We got Hippo WTV. He says, "Long distance girlfriend getting bitchy. I don't contact her enough. She used to FaceTime me twice a day. That's slowed down a lot. And she says she doesn't feel like a priority, but I don't want to over pursue, but I feel her interest is dropping." So I would say, I don't know how long or how often you guys see each other, but at least once a week you should have a date night where you're doing a digital date where you can eat, maybe have a glass of wine, or if you're not a drinker, have some tea or coffee or whatever. And then maybe surprise her. Because if she's bitching to the point where you notice that now she's not reaching out or hardly reaching out, then reach out at times and days that she doesn't expect. Mix it up so you're mysterious about it. So pursue a little bit more. That's how I would adjust that.
I have a good question.
We got to make sure we get all these super chats. So let's focus on the super chats to get those answered. Robert says, "You've done a great thing for a lot of men. I don't have any questions as I'm in a decent spot, but I came to realize that everything should be based on respect, love, or business." Thank you. Well, thank you, Robert. Jada Samurai. "Coach, the times where you worked on yourself after an intense long-term relationship, how did you navigate past the numerous STRs and find the next great love?" Short-term relationships. Well, once you've been with somebody that touches your soul and makes your heart flower, you're fucking changed forever. You're never the same. You never forget what that feels like. And so when you're dating somebody that doesn't light you up on the inside, you still want to be present and have a good time and show her a good time and make sure you give her plenty of happy finishes. But at the end of the day, your bar has been raised significantly, and so that's your new set point. And so therefore, don't get caught hanging around in mediocrity and somebody that doesn't light you up on the inside. Keep circulating until you meet somebody that does. Andrew Nero says, "How to let go of a girlfriend's past. My thinking is obsessional about it. Retroactive OCD. I keep picturing it a one-night stand that she had years before me." It's like, so you're thinking about one night stand. It's like That's fucking ridiculous. Pretty much 99% of the women you're going to be with have had lots of dudes that have dumped loads in her. That's the harsh reality. And if you can't fucking handle that, then break up with her and go try to find somebody that's a virgin that's only been with you, because that is not a productive conversation. Everybody is somebody else's leftovers. That's a fact of life. So you're not any more special than anybody else. CZA.C. My cousin and her dude been together for 2 years, living together for 7 months. They hook up once or twice a month. His excuse, tired, pregnancy fear. That just means he's not that into her. And he's not doing his duty. And you should call him out on it and tell your cousin. Good relationships where the man is showing up and doing his part. He should be plowing her strawberry fields at least 2 or 3 times a week. Once or twice a month means he's just doing it for a release and he doesn't care. He's being very selfish. Anthony says, any recommendations on how to always remain kind even when you need to be firm and brutally honest? Can the girls share their thoughts too? Well, I'm not always kind. I'm brutally honest to the point where people are like, damn, coach, you're pretty harsh. You roasted that guy. It's like, I'm like the Bill Belichick kind of coach. If you're acting like a pussy, I'm going to tell you you're acting like a pussy. I don't have time to sugarcoat things. I'm going to be brutally honest in a way that probably nobody else in your life is. And that's why most of my phone session clients that bring that up, they're like, they appreciate that about me because they know I'm not going to blow sunshine up their ass. And so being brutally honest and using plenty of F-bombs is the hallmark of somebody that's an honest and trustworthy person. Ladies?
I mean, when you're trying to remain, when you're upset and you're trying to remain calm and kind at the same time, I mean, if it's an ongoing issue, I mean, think about what you're trying to say before you say it to the other person. Because when you're displaying anger or anything like that, that's not masculinity.
Yes, masculinity is calm. Don't make her deal with your issues. If you're having a bad day, deal with it yourself. Don't show up and be an ass to everybody.
Go kickboxing.
Go do kickboxing. That's how Caroline
That's right.
solved all her anger issues. Maybe you can take Erica with you.
I started it a long time
You
ago.
have gloves, right?
I do have my own
Yeah,
gloves.
you should start going again.
I have my torn rotator cuff and fractured humerus head, so I can't really do anything.
You can kick.
I mean, look at my back right now.
That's the cupping thing.
Yeah.
They completely cupped me. They did both sides this time. But
The witch doctor got after you. Anybody else? Are you nicer to your boyfriend because you've been kickboxing?
I hope so. But it's very...
What does he say?
It's very relieving.
So you're not taking your frustrations out on him anymore, except, some in a good way?
Nope.
That's nice.
It's hard.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
I know, 'cause I get irritated real quick sometimes. Jack came home the other day. It was late at night, and it was 1 in the morning, and he had a sauce on top of a box, and I'm like, he's going to drop that on the floor. He's going to drop it on the floor. What did he do? He dropped it in between the oven and the cabinet, and I was just like, what is that? And he goes, I dropped my sauce. And I'm just like, laid in the bed, and I was already sleeping, and I was just like, let it go, let it go.
You didn't torch him?
No, even
You wanted to.
I wanted to, but I was like, you know what? Let it go. And that was it. And I was just like, I was actually proud of myself. He goes, yeah, I thought you were about to kick my ass.
That's great self-control.
Yeah, I was, because usually I'm like, but why didn't you put it in the box? Why would you carry it like that?
Yeah, don't be a cranky bitch. Be nice to your man. Be nice to your man, Caroline. Be nice to people, Erica.
I'm always nice.
Christos says, thank you. Whoa, where'd it go? So the new IRS, my ex-girlfriend, great screen name. My ex-girlfriend left me and wanted no contact, but she keeps breaking it with breadcrumbs like, hey, should I reply? Just make a date with her, invite her over to make dinner. I asked her in person to meet up in the evening, but she said, I'll let you know. I can see in her eye she was going to cry.
Aw.
Well, again, you ask twice, and then if she still won't make dates, in other words, you ask her once. If she says no, or I'll think about it, or maybe later, then the next time she reaches out, you ask her. And if she still says no, then don't bring it up, and just follow the script that's in 7 Principles to get an X back. You got a dip soon, Caroline? All right, so Pocahontas is got to dip out. So we're gonna.
I think we should keep going though.
We keep going.
Let's keep
All
going.
right, we could do that. 'Cause, man, there's so many questions.
Let's keep going.
I didn't expect this many, but all right. John Clausen says my structured lady will for sure reach out to me. You want to say bye to everybody?
I will say bye. It was fun. See you next time.
And then the coaching thing, we'll address that. So in the future, we'll be able to put links. So if you guys want to talk to Caroline, and it has to be a legit business question,
Right.
obviously.
Don't try to hit on me.
And it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
So she's got a boyfriend.
If you want some girly advice, I got you guys.
All right. Bye. All right. John Clausen says, my structured lady will for sure reach out to me after me backing away completely. After she does, would I just let her keep reaching out 100%? Yep. Most of the girls in my church are structured at first. Yep, that's what I would do. Because it's almost like a game of chicken. You want her interest to go up to the point where she throws out all her fucking rules. Because if her interest is low, she'll stick to her rules and being structured. Joshua Herbinger says, my girlfriend of 3 months wants me to be more vulnerable. It's a trap! You could just say, you know what? I once saw a cockroach in the middle of the night in the kitchen when I turned on the light, and it fucking scared the hell out of me. You can. That's being vulnerable. Other than that, save it for your therapist or your guy friends. Telling your woman about your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, the things that make you look weak. Keep it to yourself. She's seen too many Disney movies and some feminist moron that's going, you gotta have your man be vulnerable. We're not built like that. She's not built to handle it. Because if you let her know that you're going through a real tough time and you can't handle it, now she's going to become scared and freaked out, which is going to cause her to be a little bit more bitchy and nasty. Come on, man. How much you bench? Yeah, I'm 55. I do repetitions. So, like, when I do bench press, I'm usually the first set. I'm doing between 15 to 20 reps until basically I can't do anymore. You guys that are big into, like, oh, I'll get you bench. How much can you squat? It's like, that's how you hurt yourself. I've seen so many do it. You tear muscle that way. And you got to think of your body as like, you got to be like a turtle. You're trying to make it the distance without wrecking yourself and getting injured and having to have surgery. I got, a good friend of mine, actually, Chunky's dad, was moving a refrigerator, and he doesn't work out or anything, and he tore his fucking bicep. So then he had to have surgery, and it had many months of physical therapy to fix it. So unless you're a power lifter and you're competing and you have to be able to lift max weight like that, I would not recommend it. I've just seen, again, I'm 55, man. I've seen a lot of friends fuck themselves up, blow their knees out, tear pectoral muscles, tear their biceps, tear their triceps, fuck their shoulders up, trying to lift excessively heavy. So they go, how much is your bench? It's just dumb. And usually the people that do that, when you ask them to list all the injuries that they've had, it's like a list a mile long. The Orish American, after reading your book 15 times, I married my wife of 5 years and 2 kiddos. Career progression brought me to a new state. Keep up the great work. Well, congratulations on your success, dude. Corey LeVar says, X plays hot and cold, very distant. We hook up every weekend or every other. Is she keeping me around until she tries to one better? I'm also dating, and she shows signs of jealousy, not pushing it. Well, you just got to treat her like somebody in your rotation. Because, again, your job is just to create an opportunity for sex to happen. It's not to lock her down or get her into a relationship. But if she's your ex, more than likely you were the one that got dumped. And so, therefore, she's got to earn another chance with you, not the other way around. And so you're happy to give her another chance to win you over, but she's got to have a good attitude. She's got to be nice to you. No fucking drama. Maddie Z900 says, if you screw up as a man repeatedly, would a high quality girl cheat on you, or is that just a low integrity girl? Should I keep her blocked? She cheated. Well, low integrity women will cheat. High character women that are raised right, raised from a good, respectable dad, they're going to go to their dad, they're going to tell him what's going on, and he's going to listen to her, and she's going to be like, oh, there's this guy at work that's been expressing interest. Like, honey, if you're not happy and you're not going to, you know you don't want to stay with your boyfriend, don't be hanging out with that guy from work and doing any monkey branch and shit. It's like, have enough integrity to end your relationship, take some time to heal, and then when you feel ready, you should date. But not until then. I will put my fucking foot up your ass if you cheat on your boyfriend. That's what a good father is going to do. Now, a girl whose father did a shitty job, well, obviously, like your ex, she cheated. So she was a low quality person. I can't say the name. He's from India, member for a month. 22 from India, coach. You've saved me from so much pain. Really grateful for your work. I dated a girl who had narcissistic traits, an absent father, and unstable mother. Was lucky enough to eject fast. Congratulations, dude. Anthony says, Coach, I'd love to shoot, and I know you do. Would you mind sharing what kind of firearms you like to use? Well, actually, I did some show and tell in the Mastering Yourself episode last week. I showed off my rifle and some of my pistols. So my everyday carry, my favorite pistol that I have the most rounds through, and I've broken one barrel, which obviously you don't want that to happen in a gunfight, but and it broke with a live round in it that was sheared off. That was a lot of fun. But that's my Zev OZ9, which I love that. It's got a Trijicon RMR on it. And I think I got 12, 13, 14,000 rounds through that. And my rifle, the one I use the most and have shot the most is a PWS. It's a Mark 111, I think. So you guys that are, the paying members, you can see those videos. When is that one coming out, Chunk?
I think it should be
the show and tell with all the guns.
I think it's already out. I think it was out last week.
Is it the Mastering Yourself episode?
Yes.
And then we have the ones with John. Are those in the members area, or are those open for everybody?
Those are open for everybody.
Yeah. So John brought a lot of his gear, his body armor, his helmet set up, night vision, all that stuff. So those are on the channel. We have a tab for like guns playlist somewhere in there. And like my appendix carry, if concealability is an issue, I think the best small concealable pistol is going to be your 6-hour P365 XL, which I use. I got a Holosun red dot on that. I got a flashlight on that. I have flashlights in all my pistols. Flashlights are great to illuminate in the dark, to make sure you don't shoot anybody you shouldn't, and they're also good for blinding your attacker. And because the first thing he's gonna be thinking is like, why is this person shining a flashlight at me? And then the next thing that goes through his head is gonna be your bullet. That's if a bad guy is broken in your house. But so my P365, that's got, 12 rounds plus one in the pipe, and then a 15-round backup. Always have more than you think you're going to need. And my Zev has a 23-round magazine in it, plus one in the pipe, so there's 24 rounds in the gun, and I got a 23-round backup with that. So that's 47 rounds with that one. Hopefully, never ever will have to use it. But if I need to, I'm ready. Sturba says, here's what I texted her exactly. Okay, hit me up if you want to have fun and romance sometime, Sally. I really enjoy seeing you. Otherwise, take care. That's good enough. That sounds like somebody she didn't want to date or whatever. So that's fine. So now you're in no contact, and you'll never ever speak again as long as you live. And when you say take care of a woman, she basically knows that means have a nice life.
Oh, that's an insult.
It's like, see you later, have a nice life. Don't call me. I'll call you. John Doe, my ex is reaching out again. I can't just tell her to come over and make supper as we're both religious and live at home. What should I do? Well, at some point, you got to grow up and you got to be a man and you need to get your own place. You can get a small efficiency, some place where the bed, the bedroom, the kitchen, the living room is all like combined and you have a bathroom. Get a part-time job, get an extra side hustle, figure it out, dude. We're all adults here. So if you live at home with your mom and dad and you're like, where do I go to have sex? Well, you could have sex in your car. But, I mean, at the end of the day, someday you got to grow up. Figure it out. The Klutzy says, how can I show my ex I'm seeing cute girls? Didn't he ask this question already? I think we answered that one. Again, you should not be thinking, how can I show my ex this? Just live that life, and if you got stuff to post on social media, do that.
Can I give my input?
Go ahead.
Do you mind? I think what you should do is just do your own thing, and then if she just happens to see you out and about with a really cute girl, it will happen, right? I mean, it's a small world after all, right? And she will happen to see it, one of her friends will happen to see it, and the word will get back to her. So just live your life, do your own thing, don't worry about what she's doing, and be happy. That's all I can say.
Yeah, how are you supposed to be happy with your new girl when you're too much trying to...
Like, you're worried about what's going on with, like, is she going to, like, see what I'm doing? Like, that's petty bullshit. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can curse, you're fine.
Okay, yeah. Don't worry about the petty drama and all of that stuff. So just live your life for yourself. Don't worry about if she's gonna see you with cute girls. Like, that's immature. Like, be a mature, masculine man. Live your life for yourself, not for her.
So AP says, thoughts on femdom? How to quit?
Femdom.
Femdom, that's what, being dominated by women? Is that it? From how to quit from Coach's perspective?
I got you.
She likes to be tied
Wait, you
up.
want to quit? Oh, wow, yeah.
So that's
Stop
where
sending money to women.
So that's where the women, they're like dominatrix type thing?
Yes, but like, what did it... I hate that I even know this. I watched a whole documentary on it. That's why.
Erica ain't no ordinary woman, ladies and gentlemen.
I make Corey watch all of the most insane things because I want him to stay young. I want him to stay young and knowledgeable about everything.
So femdom, what does that stand for?
It's basically when a woman is
dominatrix?
psychologically manipulating a man to empty out his wallet by being abused by a woman.
Kind of like if you ever saw Billions.
Yes.
On
Yes.
Paul Giamatti's character does that.
Yes.
That doesn't do anything for me. It's like, I'm a traditional dude. It's like, I'm into my girl and her body and the way she smells and the way she looks. It's like tying her up and all that weird shit and whips and chains. Is like, that has zero effect on me. And so if you don't like it and you don't want to do it, then it's a conscious choice. You choose to exercise self-control or you don't. If that's your weird kink and you like women whipping on you and beating on you and taking your money, it's like, whatever. Are you getting value for your cash? That would be something I would think that you would do with your girlfriend. And I don't judge. It's like different strokes for different folks. I've been doing this over 20 years now at this point. It's like I've heard anything and everything. I got mostly heterosexual clients. I have gay clients. I got lesbian clients. I got trans clients. Gay sex, I know all about it. I know more than you want to know about gay sex and lesbians. I know everything. But it's like, just because that's what I do for a living. But I don't judge. If it makes you happy and it's two consenting adults, it's whatever. If you like being beat and whipped, or your girl throws a strap-on on, it's like, and pounds you in the ass, it's like, whatever. I don't fucking care. If that excites you and gets you off, whatever. Dudes that put gerbils up their butts, it's like, whatever.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
I heard it all. Nothing
Quagmire.
surprises me. Anthony says, do you conceal carry on dates? All day, every day, dude. I am always armed and heavily armed. If so, has it caused any awkward situations? Every single girl, it turns them on. They like that. If you date, how would you explain it? It's like, there's no need to explain. It's like, I carry all day, every day. It's a fucking duty. If you're a man, you should be carrying, and you should know how to use it.
Blue Pac-Man 13 says, what do I do when she finds out I believe in flat earth?
Well, if you really believe in flat earth, maybe you can convince her. Maybe you can win her over to your point of view. It's like, whatever. How much does Erica knows about this is making me feel uncomfortable.
I just answered it. I'm a highly educated woman on
She ain't no ordinary
a
girl.
lot of different things. So just because I know about this, I mean, I'm not even going to go into.
She knows a lot about a lot.
I know a lot about a lot. My skill set is huge, Trump huge, and I have a lot of friends that have been through a lot of hard times, and they, especially because of Bidenomics, they've had to do some weird things, and that was one of them. And one of my friends explained it to me, and my face was shook when she said it to me. I was like, you're doing what?
I was shook.
Yeah. So I couldn't understand it in the beginning, but I respected the hustle and the bustle. And hey, to each their own. It is what it is. Is it for me?
One of
No,
our trans
but
clients is in the chat.
you can definitely contact me, and I could probably coach you on how to stop that.
Are you going to start opening yourself up to coaching people if they want to hire you?
Why not?
It's going to be expensive.
I would love to help.
Huh. Somebody said,
What?
Paul Lynch says, I can imagine Erica is a fan of pegging her guy.
Absolutely not. And I don't talk about my sex life. But I can tell you I don't do that.
Am I a fan of Kash Patel? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But where the fuck are the JFK files? What the fuck? Where's the Epstein list? Where's the stuff on the UFOs? Where's the stuff that Trump said as soon as he got in office he's going to disclose where all the UFO things were going on over D.C. and everywhere else? We got nothing. So what does it mean? If there was, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, Barack Obama was on there like 15 years ago, and he was like, what about the aliens? You're going to disclose this to us? And Barack Obama laughed, and he says, the aliens won't let us. Ha, 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 ha. Maybe we're just E.T.'s fucking ant farm, and they really won't let the people in the know say anything about it. I don't know what it means. All I know is that we were promised, and we got nothing. No JFK files, no Martin Luther King files, no Bobby Kennedy assassination files. We had nothing. Somebody's a Glock gal. Are you a
That's
Glock
me.
gal? Oh, that's you.
Sonny the Golden Dude.
Sonny the Golden Dude.
I'm never going to change that.
I love Sonny.
I miss
him.
Sonny every day.
He's a good boy.
He was the best. He was the best dog ever. Oh, we just answered. Excuse me. We just answered what Coach's carry gun is.
Oh, somebody was asking me about fighting skills and stuff. So, when you grow up and you're kind of short and underdeveloped
that?
and you get your ass kicked by the people in the neighborhood,
Wait.
you got to learn to defend yourself and take people out really quickly. And so, you got to be dangerous, fast, and lethal. And so, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's rolling around the jiu-jitsu mat and doing all that kind of stuff. I know enough about several different martial arts. If somebody is putting myself, my life in danger, or people that are with me, I'm going for the kill right away. As quickly as possible that I can disable somebody physically, it's going to happen. You're not going to see me out there boxing in the street or anything like that. So depending on where they are in relation to me, there's either a knife coming out or there's a pistol coming out. or I'm taking a shot with a fist that's going to completely disable them and put them on the ground as quickly as possible, and then decide if they need to be finished off. So that, hopefully, things never come to that, but when I was younger, it's like one of the things I learned is like the fights I got involved in, they didn't last very long. They were over really fast, and that's the best way, because the longer they go on, other people can jump in, weapons can come out, knives can come out, and one little stab and you're fucking dead. So be dangerous, fast, and lethal. You want to be dangerous, but kind. All right, so we got one more super chat, and I think after this one we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for everybody being here. So last one is Garrett Burkhart. I'm meeting a girl I met at a rave a long time ago in Miami. She's already stuck me in friend zone, but we're going jet skiing in a club. Any tips? Well, what does the book say? When the signs are there that she's ready to be touched, ready to be kissed, ready to be seduced, she's playing with her hair, if she's standing extra close, just fucking go for the kiss, dude. And say, let's get out here and go back to my place and open a bottle of champagne. Or let's go hop in the jacuzzi and make some mimosas or something. Or if you're a whiskey drinker, hey, let's go back to my place. I got some really nice aged whiskey that we can sip with a nice big square of ice. Cool. Ladies, got anything else you want to say before
Yes, there
we...
was one question that I wanted to ask for someone. Hopefully they're still on here.
All right.
Let me just find it real quick.
I think, Corey, you want to let them know how they can watch like the replays of this and like the plan.
Oh, so what we're thinking about doing with these replays is maybe making another level in the membership to where you get access to the replays and then you get priority in the future to answering them. That's some of the things that we're trying to figure out how we want to make all that. So it's a work in progress. We're probably not going to do one next week because Chunky is going to be on the ski slopes. It's his last ski vacation of the year.
Shredding the pow.
He's been to Japan. He's been to Aspen with all the rich and shameless. Where else have you been? You've been to Utah. Yeah. The man is a world traveler. And oh, by the way, when it comes to self-defense, because your family is, do you want to say? You don't want to say? Okay. So we don't want to say, but we can't tell you who is Chunky's family is because you guys would all know who they are. But he does know some things or two about self-defense and being violent. What would you have to say to kind of answer that question?
Try your best to avoid this situation at all costs, but if you have to, lay your life down on the line and you got to fight for if someone's threatening you or your family, you got to defend yourself, but try and avoid it at all costs. Fights are costly, expensive, and you could take one bad punch, you're on the ground, you're knocked out, you're dead. Like,
yep. Or you do it to them.
Try
you punch somebody and they die,
yeah.
and then now you're going to get sued. You're going to jail.
If you are
being peaceful is the best option.
If you are a black belt in any type of martial arts, your hands are actually registered as lethal weapons.
Does that mean my trigger finger?
Are you a black belt?
Is a lethal weapon?
Are you a black belt?
I'm talking about firearms.
You should have Columbia.
The people that I was trained by, it's like
that's.
Does that mean?
What I mean?
So, but at the end of the day, if you ever have
arts,
to use it, it's just nothing but bad consequences. It's going to be extremely expensive.
So I do have the question. If Kane Mist is still here, this question is yours. Should you go no contact with your parents if they continue to be disrespectful after you set boundaries?
Read that again.
Should you go no contact with your parents if they continue to be disrespectful after you set boundaries?
Just spend less time around them. You got to manage, like in jiu-jitsu, you got to manage the distance. If they won't treat you nice, well, then they can get the gift of missing you.
Theseus, Chunky is not a Gracie, and Khan, Chunky should go to Columbia.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll probably be back, I think, in 2 weeks when Chunky's back, because he's kind of the only one that really knows how to run this stuff, and he's doing. If you guys think Chunky's doing a great job, you can let him know in the chat. So until next time, we will talk to you.